Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Sorry about that. I had to check out something. How y'all doing this afternoon? This your boy Rob Thomas Jr. with a brief message from the real news behind the news. Oh yeah, the day is July 28, 2000. Y'all forgive me, man. I got a lot of stuff going on right now. Hold on a second. Y'all give me a second. I got a lot of stuff going on. I'm trying to do this live video. I'm back. Y'all forgive me, man. I'm dropping the phones and everything. But what we want to talk about briefly, we just gonna go right into it, is mental illness in the black community. Now, me, myself, I'm understanding mental issues because at one point I was clinically classified as manic depressive. Believe it or not, somebody as sharp and handsome as me was a manic depressive, you know. Actually, they had me with a dual diagnosis. But it brings me back. I'm going to quote scripture on y'all and give y'all an example of what mental illness is. Today, in religious terms, we call it demon-possessed. But when you go back to Matthew, the 8th chapter, I think it's 28 through 31st verse, when it said that Jesus got off that boat and he came to this one place and it was a dude so possessed that they couldn't even hold him with chains. Now, when he finally got a chance to meet Jesus, Jesus walked up to the dude and said, "What's your name?" Notice Jesus spoke beyond that man, his physical body. He spoke into a spiritual realm and asked him what his name was, and the people, the entity, those alternate personalities, which is a form of mental illness, spoke out to Jesus and said, "We are legion, for we are many." Today, in the black culture, in the black society, it's taboo for us to talk about mental illness because don't nobody want to be considered as crazy. But when you think about it, only a crazy person will go out and shoot other people. Let's look at the case where that young lady ran that other young lady over. That was a case of a mentally ill person, because guess what? The young lady had already beat a murder charge where she stabbed her boyfriend. You got to be mentally ill to kill somebody, especially through a stabbing, because that's intimate. Stabbing is up close and personal. That means you got some demons inside your head talking to you, telling you what to do. So when people tell you the devil made me do it, you better pay attention, because spiritually or religiously, you all call it demon possessed, but clinically, they call it mental illness. Anybody in their right mind will not go out and just start shooting because they bought an illegal new gun. They go out and start shooting it up in the air, or they start shooting at other people. Again, that man in that tomb when Jesus came, he was so possessed that everybody in his time would have called him mentally ill. So get what they did? They locked him up in chains and put him in the mountains, put him in a cave. But the chains couldn't hold him because he had so many alternate personalities. Ain't the same thing as schizophrenia? You know what I'm saying? People talking about they bipolar. No, you just got some demonic or spiritual issues that we need to deal with. But we in the black community, again, we do not put the focus on mental illness. We try to overlook it when we really need to start addressing it, because a lot of these people, and I'm gonna just be real, are mentally ill that's doing a lot of killing. A lot of single black mothers, believe it or not, when you put your child on that disability part of the welfare system where they can get that so-called crazy check, you're indoctrinating your child with a certain form of mental illness, because now that child's gonna have to grow up. He has to grow up believing that I'm retarded so that mama can get this check every month for me being retarded. So we actually participate and facilitate a lot of the mental illness that's going on, because again, you have a lot of single black mothers around here. No indictment against single black parents, but we the ones who children run around here doing all this killing, because half of us still in the clubs. Half of us are still mentally ill because we're trying to live out our high school proms at 48 and 49, them to 50 years old. So mental illness, it takes a lot of form, but it's something that we really need to address. Now, I may, try to do this video and keep it in a humorous type position, but it's a very serious situation. We dying, y'all. And one of the main reasons why we're dying out here, we're killing each other, because half the people that got guns are mentally ill and don't, you know what I'm saying, really have a reasonable right to have a gun. You know, half of these cats listen to this rap music. If you living your life and basing it up on what these rappers are saying, you are mentally ill. Because mentally, you're deficient in the part of your brain that helps us deal with logic and reality. If you're living your life like these rappers, Love and Hip Hop, Housewives of Atlanta, Power, if you are off into this stuff here, somewhere along the line, you might have to check yourself for mental illness. Because, you know what I'm saying, don't know real sober, conscious-minded, literal thinking person thinks like that. You know, even when I have temptation, man, telling me time's hard, you can go out there, man, and flip a package. That's that mentally ill Rob talking. That ain't me talking. That's that mentally ill motherfucker that's trying to get me to go out there and go to prison. Because every time I know he spoke to me in that voice, using my own voice. See, this is what throws you off. A lot of time that mentally ill voice will speak to you in your own voice. Especially if you're a drug addict, gambling addict, or whatever. Y'all know what I'm talking about. When you sit around here saying, okay, I just got paid $800. I need $1,500 to keep all the bills paid, but I need to go to the casino and try to win. Or if you're a drug addict, you'll say, I need to go out here and try to get me a package and try to flip it. That's your mental illness talking to you in your own motherfucking voice, getting you to self-destruct. Oh, I said motherfucker. I almost be.
You said motherfucker, man, on TV.
Oh, it ain't TV, man. It's Facebook.
Oh, this Facebook?
This Facebook
It's
Live.
like TV.
This Marcus here, y'all. Anyway, this kid folk.
Shit, we out here. We cool.
But mental illness is a real issue. And again, we trying to keep this video lightheartedly sometimes, some type of way. But we really need to talk about mental illness in the black community, because you add mental illness with all the liquor stores. In every other corner, you can go get a dime pouch of some Loud. You know what I'm saying? So instead of dealing with mental illness, we medicate it with drugs and alcohol in the black community. White folk, they go get Ritalin and all that shit there, you know, stuff like that. Excuse my language. They go get all that stuff.
Doing the same thing. Right?
They doing the same thing, but actually theirs is worse, because if they depressed, now they got these antidepressants that they taking, which make them more violent. That's why school getting shot up, because the little white kids taking these antidepressants.
Hey, look, white people, if y'all need to just do a drug, just get cocaine.
Cocaine? Nah, I wouldn't suggest
we don't need
that.
all that synthetic stuff.
Hey, the views of the Marcus are not solely even fucked with here.
Yeah, I'm an independent contractor.
Yeah, he's independent. His views are definitely not the views of the real. No, if you got a mental illness, go get some help. Yeah. I mean, let's get back to the realness. Go get some help, man, period. It ain't no harm in going to see a doctor. Now, I don't believe in all these medications that they give people for mental illnesses, because, again, man, the medications are worse than the drugs. I mean, the diagnosis.
Yeah, and stop trying to diagnose yourself.
Yeah, that's what we do. We diagnose ourselves in the black community.
Everybody else what's wrong with you, but you don't really know what's wrong with you.
Because you won't even go get a diagnosis.
You know what I'm saying?
Everybody know what's wrong with you. You screwed up in the head. You the one riding around here with an AK-47.
Everybody don't know why.
You the one running around here with an AK-47. Or you that lady that got a bunch of man problems because you sleeping with 4 different men. Or you that man that got all these lady problems because you got an STD and you steadily spreading around. I mean, those things have nothing to do with being responsible. But when you know that something is psychologically not clicking in your head, you have an obligation to go and at least talk to doctors to see what's going on in your head.
And look, it's been normalized as of recently, because we got a president who feels like, you know, he is mentally disturbed. In
Yeah,
some
he
areas.
is. He got mental illness, but who else don't?
And he's not dealing with it right. You see what I'm saying?
Man, let me show you how deep this mental illness. Now watch this, kinfolk. Now this is my little cousin right here, but I'm finna show all y'all how deep this mental illness thing goes.
And I can read.
Your government, like he just said, Donald Trump and your military industrial complex. These are some of the most mentally ill motherfuckers, people on the face of the planet. Yeah, I'm gonna stop cussing. These are some of the most mentally ill people on the planet because they are literally the ones who are creating weapons of war and going around the world taking other people's oil and killing hundreds and thousands and millions of people in the name of appropriating resources. But here in our community, we have, again, a bunch of mentally ill people who will not even acknowledge the fact that something is not clicking right in their head, which causes them to have to walk around with automatic weapons, or which causes us to get into these continued dysfunctional relationships. We know the relationships is going to be dysfunctional.
It's sad when you feel like you have to have an automatic weapon in your neighborhood.
Unless you're protecting your home, to protect yourself from these ignorant people with mental illnesses.
Yeah.
It's not mentally ill to have a weapon in your home to protect your home.
What we're doing right now is...
While he's trying to figure that shit out,
we
he's dealing with mental illness.
We tying
right
in
now.
mental illness and criminality together.
Yeah.
Them two different things.
No, it
though,
ain't,
you know what I'm
because
saying?
most criminality stems from a mental form of illness, because sane people don't get out in the neighborhood and shoot motherfucking AK-47s at each other. Responsible adults have weapons in their home to protect their family and their home. But mentally ill people...
Stop saying that.
Yeah, you're right. Mentally ill people are the one who are around here, man, trying to prove a point that I'm more gangster than you. So I'm gonna shoot up this whole neighborhood and kill this innocent 8-year-old person that ain't got nothing to do with what it is that I'm beefing. That's mentally ill,
This ain't got no name on him, man. We know that.
But only a mentally ill person would you agree that shoot at somebody that ain't trying to break into his house, rape or rob his family, or steal something from it. You see what I'm saying? So at what point do we as black people start talking about the true causes of a lot of this crime? But not only talk about it, but find solutions. And one of the main solutions is we have to start putting the focus on mental illness in our community, because you got a lot of people that's out here killing other people, man, because there's a lot of mental illness can go back to post-traumatic stress.
What's that gonna do? Let's talk about this. We can't focus on it. We get on it. Let's get on and focus on mental illness, and let's start going to see doctors, and let's start going to try to figure out what's going on with ourselves. You know what I'm saying? But don't nobody know the wounds of somebody, you know what I'm saying, unless you the person that got cut.
Yeah, because like right now, we suffer from post-traumatic stress, really, here in America, as black people. We suffer from post-traumatic stress, which is the main form of mental illness.
It's not post-traumatic stress from just the
stuff
it's
from post-traumatic stress. Because
it's genetic, because our people have been stifled and re-educated. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. So again, post-traumatic stress.
That our bodies, the stuff our soul tell us naturally that we know. They tell us that same story, but they tell it to us in a different way. It's not how it, you see what I'm saying?
All right, so then that leads, DeMarcus, everything you're saying is right and true, but I'm trying to spin it into the bigger picture, because that what leads us into a situation of post-traumatic stress, where we are seeing the same shit that, in a sense, you see in Afghanistan and all these war zones. This is what you see in our neighborhoods. When we see each other kill each other, and we see police kill us because we killing each other. So we're suffering with a lot of, we're still suffering from post-traumatic slavery syndrome. We're the only people that didn't come here as immigrants, y'all. Black folks were brought here or either captured while we was already here. We as a black Indians, Cherokee. Shout out to my great grandma.
The people that didn't know that it was over here, they thought the world was flat. We told them how to get here.
It was a black dude showed Columbus
we told them how to get here
because my great grandmama was already here. Cherokee Indians, baby.
Yeah, we was already here.
We was already here.
You know what I'm saying?
So the post-traumatic stress that we dealing with in itself causes mental illness amongst us, because you put us in projects or neighborhoods that's conducive to nothing more than open air prisons.
What they allow.
You see what I'm saying? You put us in open air prisons in what's called hoods. Notice we don't have gated communities. We have hoods.
Here's a question. We've had a black president of the United States of America.
3-4 black mayors in Shreveport.
So why are black people still massively incarcerated? Still the ones that's dealing with health issues and they talking bad about us because they're still having welfare and food stamps and all these things. You see what I'm saying?
The only answer I can give you for that, cuz, is first of all, if you know you're dealing with a system, but guess what? No, we didn't build it. We may have created the designs and all that.
You talking about they country? You talking about America?
I'm talking about
whatever it was before it was America. We was already
but this
here.
is what happens. Now again, let's throw mental illness along with a culture that they have given us. They have given us a culture that's conducive to mental illness because they show us that all our heroes got to be rappers who done screwed 97 women and shot 12 niggas and sold 87 pounds of dope. So mentally, if you buying off into this culture that they give you on Housewives of Atlanta, when ma'am, you just happen to be screwing a basketball player, but the average black female is trying to figure out how she's gonna get daycare for her kid. So mentally,
when she working at a hair salon.
Yeah, when she working at a hair salon, whatever. Man, so what happens
65%
is mentally it plays a part on your psyche, whereas you actually become delusional, which in a sense is a form of mental illness. You see what I'm saying? They got us chasing the bag. The bag is being able to put food in your children's mouth.
I think it's because we're just so susceptible. We just decide to be.
Why?
Because we've been trained.
We've been trained.
It's genetic in us.
It's been designed in us as black Americans.
Bow down.
So that's why. So don't you think it's designed for black people not to understand mental illness?
Whenever we stand up.
But do you think it's designed for black people not to really put the focus on mental illness? Because that's what this video really all about. Mental illness. Do you think it's designed for us not to understand that you got to be mentally motherfucking ill to go out and shoot somebody 8 times?
We can't afford that though.
We can't afford what?
To be mentally ill.
We can't afford not to get diagnosed because it's killing us as a culture, as a people. Because we the only people that don't deny. Everybody else, every other race got that one mentally ill family member where they just put him in one of the rooms at grandmama house, at Madea house, or one of the auntie house. They just put him in the room by himself and everybody love him and take care of him. But he's mentally ill.
The room always stink.
There's
a plate somewhere.
But he's throwing food. But still, that's a family member. And he's mentally ill. In the black neighborhoods and community, they put that nigga out there and tell him, man, go get it. Go rob something. You gotta, because they take his mentally ill check every month. Take advantage of him. Take his check. Now he gotta fend for his way, and these are the people that you see on the streets that's homeless. But then I'm talking about the dudes that got the guns, the women that's got the guns, that's committing these crimes. Mental illness plays a part because you got to be mentally ill as a female to stab your boyfriend to death.
All right.
Wait a minute, hold on. You stab your boyfriend to death. Then you get away with that crime and you so mentally disturbed by another chick talking to another one of your new boyfriend, you go run her over. How many sane and rational people do that? Only a person that's playing kickball by themselves on Jupiter in their mind does something like that. For real. Cause you playing kickball by yourself on Jupiter in your mind because you're mentally ill. Somewhere down the line, you have issues that need to be dealt with. And this is what I'm simply saying. We black people don't deal with. Man, this video about 30 minutes long. It wasn't supposed to be that long.
It can be an hour.
Nah, we finna shut it down. We finna shut it down. But this here, me and DeMarcus, we just started an issue. This one of the little smartest dudes you gonna ever meet, huh?
I just look like this. I know something.
He look like that then too sometimes.
I know a little bit.
Before the camera start rolling, we might have 2 or 3 of those cups going around.
I don't even know that.
They seen your cup, nigga, 6 times.
It's my cup, man.
Nah. But anyway, mental illness is the elephant in the room that black people are not talking about. And until we talk about that, couple that with all these liquor stores that we let our city council members and all these people put in our neighborhood, all the drugs, you know what I'm saying, the little people and all that shit that's going around in our neighborhood. This is why we have a lot of killing. And sane people are not doing the killing. It's people that have some underlying mental issue. So I'm willing to work with anybody who has organizations that deal with this topic and subject. And we can also include that into our solution as to making our neighborhoods a better place again. Because until we start talking about crazy motherfuckers with guns.
I'm saying motherfucker, man.
Yeah, crazy people with guns. Then we're not talking about guns are not the problem. Because guess what? If ordinary law-abiding citizens didn't have guns to protect themselves and their home, what you think this would be like for us? It would be like Dodge City. If only let me ask you a question. Would you want to live in a world where only the criminals and the police got guns? That's what gun control is all about. Only people that have guns is the criminals and the police. But people who willing to shoot at other people and tell them, look.
That's enough video.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go on something else.
No, I'm just keeping it real. I'm keeping it real. People that's willing to protect their neighborhood, sometimes gotta do what they gotta do to protect their neighborhood.
Everybody gotta do what we gotta do to protect
that neighborhood. Cause don't
look,
you
man,
want?
As far as it be y'all young, it be the young kids, man.
No, I don't, man. It's 35, 40-year-old people out here shooting.
It be the young dudes and the dumb dudes.
That's a good way to put it.
Because if you 35, 40 years old and you still running around here with your pants sagging with some skinny jeans on, you fat as fuck, and you got 14 kids and 1 grandkid, you need to sit your bitch ass down somewhere and live your life. It'd be a football coach or a father or something. And stop playing. Ain't nobody got time for that. You hear me? In the meantime, we got kids out here that's growing up, man. These kids hate each other. They don't like each other because they don't wear the same color. They don't like each other because one nigga might be light-skinned. They don't like each other because this nigga kind of twists a little bit when he walk. It don't matter. Everybody needs to live their life and do what the hell y'all gonna do.
And stop killing each other.
Y'all right. Shit, y'all stop doing that stupid ass shit in front of these kids and then expecting them to do right.
Yeah, you doing stupid stuff in front of them and expecting them not to do the shit that you're doing. A lot of it is our fault as parents.
The apple don't fall far from a tree.
Mentally ill parents.
And if your apple is rotten, goddamn it, start questioning your tree.
Yeah, really cut your tree down. You really need to take your uterus out or chop your testicles off and start producing.
I got a lobotomy class.
Something. But if the apple fall from the tree, we got a lot of crazy motherfuckers raising crazy kids. And then when your mother's sitting up here putting you at a disadvantage, giving you a mental illness, and my child is a crazy chick. Well, guess what? They finna put him in that classroom. They finna put your child in that classroom where all they do all day is draw. And then you wondering why little Johnny now is 13 and he can't think of nothing else but shooting people. Because in order to get that little check every month, you disadvantage your child by putting him in a mental.
All day.
Yeah.
You think that what you?
That's all he drawing pictures of people shooting. The niggas that coming over to mama's house at 2 o'clock in the morning. That's who he drawing pictures of. He want to shoot them. So you put.
I got.
Yeah. Now you putting your children in a bad situation when you give them that crazy check. Because again, giving them that crazy check automatically puts them in special education. So now you're deliberately brainwashing a bunch of people to be mentally ill. Mental illness goes a lot. It's a rabbit hole that goes
mentally
deep,
ill
deep.
because we still refer to ourselves as minorities. You understand what I'm saying?
We are.
We are not a minority, bro. Let me explain something to you.
Nigga.
People that look like Donald Trump are less than 10% of the entire world.
Well, nationally,
everybody else.
locally here in Shreveport, we are not the minority. But when you look at what's going on, I'm finna show you the new numbers and everything. Hispanics has already outplaced blacks and five more groups that you could put together with blacks. Hispanics have just done that in the last 16 years. A lot of that came under Bush, Obama, and even now Trump. Okay. So all that is a whole different story. We talking about mentally ill motherfuckers because you got a lot of them mentally ill immigrants coming in here. Nigga, you just said bitch ass niggas.
I said bitch ass niggas, but that's cool.
That's cool, but motherfucker not.
In some points, because some niggas just bitch ass niggas. Everybody know that. Now, motherfucker, never mind.
You just said, anyway, mental illness is the elephant in the room. That we two mentally ill Negroes, but we're pointing out a truth. Stop sitting up here, man, letting your children try to get these crazy chicks because you're disadvantaging them from Jump Street by basically put them in classes that's going to try to teach them, first of all, to be mentally deficient just for you get a check every month. But if you run around here and you got 17 guns in your closet and you're a convicted felon, you got a mental illness going on. If you're a gambler, a drug addict, alcoholic or whatever, that's a mental illness. We have so many mental illnesses going on that it's crazy that we don't begin to talk about it because not only talking about it, but trying to find solutions to address that is the first solution to crime. Because again, only two mentally ill motherfuckers is gonna shoot at each other in broad daylight. Sane people are usually at work trying to find work or whatever. But only two mentally ill female will get into a fight over a male and then go and kill somebody behind some ding-a-ling. You know what I'm saying?
They're still doing that?
Oh yeah, that's what happened with that little girl over there. When she ran that girl over, man, it was behind some ding-a-ling.
I know I ain't seen
that's mentally ill, because the little girl had already killed somebody. Man, the little girl had already, the girl was 19, she stabbed the shit out of her boyfriend a year ago.
A year ago.
And then less than a year, she ran over another girl because ding-a-ling.
She ran over another girl?
Ran over another girl. Where was you,
She was gone for a year?
No, she wasn't even she wasn't even in jail.
When did that?
Because guess what? She was mentally ill. A mentally ill person can stab you to death, man, and really beat the charges because they mentally ill. A lot of us are clinically diagnosed, but the majority of us are not. So we medicate our mental illness with drugs, alcohol, sex.
Well, I ain't heard a lot of cases getting out because people mentally ill. They knocking your ass up because you stabbed that nigga.
You go to prison right now, a good third of the people in prison are suffering from mental illnesses who are not taking their medications, and they do stupid shit to get locked up. Now they get locked up, they put them back on their medication.
So reacting to what you presenting.
Yeah, but at the same time, there's another question, rabbit hole you go down, because a lot of times the medications are just as worse as the illness. Y'all, hey, we'll be back.